Hi and welcome to Awake TV episode number 6. So I hope you're doing well. I hope you've had a good week. I know a lot's been happening here in the UK, so wherever you are in the world, I hope you are looking after yourself. So today's episode, I want to get into something really important. With everything happening, you will be experiencing, no doubt, that there is a shift taking place. So I'm going to get into a little bit more. What today's episode is really about is New World Order versus New Earth. Don't get them confused. So it's really worth mentioning right now is, as I take you through today's episode, you might be challenged in your beliefs, depending on what you already believe, depending on where you are, what your journey is. So just, if I'm saying anything that feels a little bit out there or a little bit unsure, I just invite you to keep an open mind. I'm not here to persuade or convince you, but just keep an open mind, see where you are as we go through the year. But my intention here is just to share with people who need to hear this information, to confirm with you if you already know this information, to give you that confirmation that yes, you are on the right track and we are going through this great awakening. And as chaotic and crazy as it is, it's purposeful. So we are going towards something very specific and very divinely planned. So if you understand that, you could even, believe it or not, find reasons to celebrate and actually feel quite excited about what is unfolding. So before I get into kind of the differences about those two, New World Order, New Earth, I want to explain a little bit more about the shift in the timelines that are happening at the moment, because you have to understand that to kind of know where we're going. So before I begin, if you hear a noise in the background, it's my fan. It's so hot, I couldn't record without it, so I hope you can hear me properly, but I'm just going to record anyway because I don't really do any editing. So this is just a one-shot record, and it's a very hot day and it's a very hot month. We're in August 2020, a lot's happening in the world. So I want to start with just explaining very quickly about the shift. So the best way to describe it, again, if we use this idea of truths, beliefs, wearing masks, not wearing masks, believing in mainstream media and government and not believing, you are going to be finding with your family and friends, with your social circle, that there is a splitting off that's happening. So you may already be aware of this, or it might be the first time you're thinking about it, but we're seeing it on social media very clearly. It's like those people who believe these things, those people who believe these things. And as we're going through life at the moment, we're finding that division happening more and more. You only need to go into like certain shops, as I'm sure you are, where you'll probably no doubt have shops where you know, like I do, there's shops that I know that I can go into, they're okay with certain things, and there are shops that I avoid like the plague because I know that they are subscribing to certain things. So there's already a shift happening, maybe in pubs you go to, restaurants, shops, maybe even people. So what's unfolding is that you might have seen information about this. There's a timeline shift. So there's a lot of esoteric language and descriptions about this, and you know, we might have heard about 3D, 5D ascension processes and these shifts in timelines and all of the things. I totally subscribe, but my purpose today is to really, is what I always try and do, is try and break this down so it makes a bit more real life sense, right? And if you're into all of that, that's great. I am as well, but you know, sometimes it doesn't make practical sense, right? So all that's happening really is that because the shit has hit the fan this year in a big way, it's not that the world has got worse, like I said in previous videos, it's that the veil has been lifted. So what we're seeing is all the structures and all the systems in our world, right? So like I said before, health, education, legal, mainstream media, like every system we've got is basically being taken down, because the reason is it's built on a load of corruption, dark energy, pedophilia, satanic, ritualistic bullshit. It's being built on all of these very low vibrational energy systems. That's just a fact. And in order to move forward, we are progressing. So humanity is evolving. We're becoming more conscious. We're becoming more awake, right? Welcome to Awake TV. We're doing it over and over and over. But in order to do that, we need to shed the light on all the crap, right? I've spoken about this in previous videos. So when all these things are coming up, what we're seeing is we've got to see all the shit so it can start to break down. But when that happens, when all this like truth comes up, right? So at the moment we're hearing about celebrities, it's starting to trickle in, right? We're hearing about the ritualistic stuff with children, all the dark stuff that humanity we don't really want to look at. We want to pretend it's not happening. It's too upsetting, it's too triggering. All this stuff is coming up, and when the truths are coming in, government lies, right? Censorship, mainstream media stories that are coming in, you know, we're seeing contradictions everywhere, right? Constantly. And when this stuff is happening, you're going to react. You're either going to be able to look at this stuff and go, holy shit, wow, right? This is happening. This is actually coming up. Maybe you knew about it already. Maybe you're just learning about it, but whatever. Your response is, wow, that's happening. I can see it. Oh my God, I don't want to play in that. I don't want that. I say no to that. Then there is another group of people that are going to see it and they're going to reject it. They're going to say, holy shit, that is so crazy and out there. Conspiracy theory, you're just spreading fear. That's bullshit. You get your tinfoil hat on, right? But you're a sociopath. I've had many things come my way since I've been spreading information online, right? So I get it. There's going to be a group of people that are they don't want to see it. It's like they're wearing a completely different pair of glasses, right? So what you're going to find when these responses, there's no right or wrong here. So I'm not criticizing, I'm just observing, I'm letting you know this is what's playing out. It's just people's responses. However, what you're going to find is there's going to be a real splitting off. So you're going to kind of find two groups. You'll probably find this already. I'm just confirming what you know. But you're going to have groups over here where they're like truth seekers, or you find that they're awake, they're aware, they understand what's going on. And then you've got the other group that maybe they're not seeing it. So we're going to start splitting off. That is okay. That's just part of the journey. It needs to happen. Where it becomes difficult is when you start to see it in your own family, social circles, colleagues, whoever you're associating with, where you know, there are a lot of people who are trying to convince everybody else. You're trying to wake people up like now, right? And sure, I'm sitting here doing an episode of Awake TV. It's my own version of trying to wake people up. But we've got to be mindful that you can't wake everybody up, unfortunately. You have to let people do it in their own time. So you might find that there are people that you know that aren't going to come on the same path as you, which can really be triggering. So let's just acknowledge that. There is no way around this. I think the best way through it is just to accept that's happening, and know that everybody's on their own path. Don't buy into those stories, please. A lot of these are in the spiritual community, where we're talking about ascending into 5D, leaving people in the 3D, and those people are going to be like lost and they're never going to be able to recover. It's like, no, it's not quite how it is. Those people are going to be okay. You just have to respect the fact that they're in the matrix system. They're still in that old program. They're plugged into that, what's true for them. It's their truth. It just is. We know obviously that it's different, but it's their truth, and you've got to honor that. So you're going to find this splitting. Now, what's going to happen more and more is the more dark that comes through, we're getting it literally week by week, it's going to trickle in. We're going to see a lot more. We're going to have disclosures of celebrities, the real truths come out. It's going to be a real mass awakening. So this stuff has to come out slowly so as not to cause too much shock and trauma, you know, in the world, which it will inevitably anyway. So just be understanding that there's a shift that's happening. This is where you get to choose. So it's really important to make a very conscious decision about which path do you want. Do you want to be in the fear, deception, you know, wearing this pair of glasses where you're not really seeing, you're turning your blind eye to the truth, you're pretending it's not happening, you're looking away and you're plugging into those systems? Or do you want to be over here, awake, looking the truth in the eye, as difficult as that can be? You don't have to be consumed by it, just be aware of it, but choosing deliberately to create another reality. So this is what we mean when we talk about you choose your reality. It is so important. That's why I'm doing this episode now, to understand that you are creating your own reality. We don't have time anymore to fuck about. All right, we don't have time to just sort of sit back and like do nothing. Like, you've got to actively participate in your life, right? So this is what we're doing. So we are shifting, and when we're on this track of truth, openness, connection, we understand what's happening, we've unplugged from all the bullshit structures, we're going to have to build new stuff. So there's a lot of newness that's going to come in. We're going to create a very new earth. So the new earth is based on things like all the good stuff: love, compassion, truth, honesty. My God, don't we need it, right? All the good frequencies. So I just want to make a distinction between that and the New World Order, because when I hear people talk about the New World Order, which is the bullshit controlled by the elites, so-called elites, those small group of entities that are controlling everything. If you don't know what I'm talking about, have a look at my previous episodes. I talk about it in episodes 1, 2, and 3. Those people are about the New World Order. What they're trying to do is break down our systems in order to create this one world order which is controlled. And this is why it's to do with tracking and tracing us, chipping us, injecting us with bullshit vaccinations that sterilize us, kill off our lifespan, kill us off and reduce our lifespan, all the bullshit. I'll do another video on that. But it's about, they talk about it being united and one world and all connected, but the energy behind that is not good. Obviously it's dark. So when we talk about the new earth, don't get confused, because there is talk there about connection and unity, right? And oneness. It isn't the same thing. So just be aware that you're not talking about the same thing. The reason I talk about this is because I saw somebody comment recently about, somebody was talking about New World Order, and somebody was saying, yeah, the New World Order, they want unity and stuff, and then not, I'm not buying into that. And I thought, wow, unity is a good thing. Unity is not a warped, dark agenda, but just remember, the New World Order is about taking anything good and subverting it into dark and crap, right? So just be aware. Don't let these groups sort of confuse you, because confused minds can't choose and can't create their own reality. So just know, New World Order is the control from the top that's trying to unite us. Not really. It's about controlling us, moving the herd into a controllable area, and then kind of using us as worker bee slaves, right, to control us. And also they need to get rid of a whole bunch of us from the planet, because there's too many of us in terms of their belief system. So it's about control, and controlling us with like one currency and one way of doing things, right? That's not what we want. So the new earth is a completely different energy. New World Order's down here. Think about new earth as being up here, much higher frequency. So that's what we're aiming for. That's what we're going. That's where we're going. All right. So just no doubt about that. That's where we're going. It's inevitable, but you've still got to choose. You've got to be an active participant, right, in your life and your choices. So you've got to consciously create these energy frequencies in you. It's about freedom. It's about love. It's about getting out of fear. You cannot create that for yourself if you're fully in fear. So that's the difference. All right, so I just wanted to make that distinction, and that's what we're doing. So you're going to see a splitting off. We've already started it. There's a lot of division, and obviously I'm not talking about division being a good thing. The divide and conquer, which is a program I spoke about in episode 3, I think, or 4, that's a man-made creation, right, to cause race wars or whatever else, to split us up, divide and turn us against each other. What I'm talking about today is a very natural splitting off of mindsets, hearts, energies. You wherever you are on that is okay, but just understand that you're probably not going to be able to bring everybody that you would want to along with you on that journey. So on a practical level, I suppose just understand that your relationships might be impacted. All right, so just go gently with yourself, because I'm picking up a lot of that where people are saying, maybe long-term relationships are starting to break down. If you're in a relationship and you are both, let's use it as an example, a couple is in a relationship after 30 years, right? One of them is awake and sees what they see. They've unplugged from the mainstream media. They've unplugged from the government lies. They understand the dynamics that are in play. They understand that this whole thing is being played, right? And then you've got the other person in the couple who totally believes what they see on the news. They trust the government. They think the government's here for their health and well-being. You can see, right, in that relationship, these two very different energies and mindsets and views. That's going to cause a problem in the relationship. It just is. So not to scare you or not to, try and create problems here, but just be aware if there's anyone in your life that you are really finding that you're trying to convince, right? You're trying to get them to see, you're trying to shake them and say, wake up, wake up. Just understand that it might be that they're not ready. It's a tough one. I'm not saying this is easy, but it just might be that they're not ready. Everybody is doing it on their own time frame. So we've got to find a way to, sure, share information, speak from your heart, share whatever you want to do. It might just be online, it might just be in conversations, but understand that it's not your responsibility to change someone. It's really tough, and I know I understand that that's challenging. You've got to let go of that responsibility, and people will wake up when they're ready. Okay, so it's tough. So this whole thing is, there's a lot of energies, there's a lot of stress happening at the moment. A lot of people are getting anxious. Just be gentle with yourself, because there's a lot of changes. But once you understand that there are things playing out, right? Once you understand that there is a bigger picture, so sometimes it helps to just, I always do this, like take a bird's eye view, right? Step back and go, chaos, this is happening, more controls are over here, they're bringing in more, guidelines over here, this newspaper article saying this is all fear. So if you just step back and just go, okay, this is what's playing, I can see it all, I don't have to buy into that fear, I can step back and actually create your own reality. You can absolutely do it. It's so doable, but you've just got to be conscious. So I just wanted to share that we are shifting, our timeline is shifting, we're splitting off, and it's worth saying, if you're aware of this 3D to 5D consciousness, right? So we're moving from lower vibrations to higher vibrations and frequencies. It isn't that we're all going to drift off into this sort of paradise place, somewhere beautiful, right? It's happening simultaneously. So 5D New Earth is already here. So those of you that really, understand this, you already have this knowledge, it's already here. We're not going off somewhere. Our job is to be here in the middle of all this chaos and still hold our truth, right? And still hold the frequency that we have, our knowledge that we have, right, within us, in amongst all of the fear, all of the chaos, all of the confusion, all of the lies, all of the deceptions. Our job is to do that, and it's a question of it's simultaneously running. So if you think of like there's two trains kind of on the tracks, they're separate tracks, but they're simultaneously going. So it's happening all at once. We're not going to just shift into like, paradise, unfortunately. Doesn't mean that one day we won't get there, but it's such a process. It's not going to be like by the end of 2020 we're going to be in this like 5D beautiful all is one, no more wars situation. It's going to be such a process. So banging out there. It's such a process. So just understand that we're in it. We're in this together. If you're watching this, you're watching it for a reason. There is no coincidence that you're tuned in again, watching these episodes, right? So feel free to drop me a comment. I'd love to know if you are watching, if any of this resonates, if you've got any questions, if you're having any struggles. I am here. So in case you don't know me, I'm Marie Fleming Grant, and I'm founder of the Awake Revolution, and I'm here on this planet to help you. I'm here on this planet to help you drop the baggage, wake up to the real you, and revolutionize how you think, feel, and create. Because you didn't come here to settle, you came here to be all of who you can be. And I think it's time to drop this story of being spiritual is just this, nice, wishy-washy kind of extra. We've got to stop apologizing for it and stop tiptoeing around it. We are spiritual beings. We are in the human body. We are not just all human blood and bone and flesh and that's it. We are consciousness. We happen to be in human form. So we've got to start tuning into that. It's time. It's time. And if you're watching this, it's time. You know this. You know this. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. You already know that you are a soul, you are spirit, you are consciousness, you are light, you are all those good things, and you are not here by accident. You've chosen to be here. Yes, you have. You've chosen to be here on this journey, very deliberately so. So if you're watching this, understand the power that you have within you, because that is why you are here. You are here for that purpose. All right. So we have absolutely got this. Everything will be okay. Everything will be, all is well. We just have to navigate through this bullshit first, right? And you don't have to find this easy. You don't have to find this all love and light. You can have tears and anger and frustrations. Just keep coming back to yourself, right? I've definitely been on a roller coaster, especially a few months ago. Just keep coming back to yourself. Just keep taking a breath. Keep coming back into your body. Keeping your feet on the ground, breathing, feeling the energy inside of your body. That's got nothing to do with what you think, what your job title is, what you've done in your life, what you haven't done in your life, where you are, where you're living, what your relationship status is, what your bank account says. Nothing to do with any of those things. You're here for a reason. You are a spiritual being having a human experience, and that is what's happening. So you're here for a reason. All right, so have some faith, hang in there, and connect to people like you. I think at the moment it's so important to connect with people. We are in lockdowns, in and out. I believe there are going to be more coming up. We're not through the woods yet, so we're going to be, cut off physically in ways we don't want. So making sure that energetically and emotionally you're connecting to who makes you feel good, who makes you feel that you can be you, who feels good to be around, and be really conscious and make decisions from a very conscious place. All right, so that's it for now, episode 6. So if you find this useful, please do share this video with anyone you feel could benefit. And if you have any questions, please do message me or comment below. All right, so that's it for now. Take care, sending you lots of love, and I will speak to you again very soon in the next video. All right, bye for now.